How's it going, YouTube? This is TalkF bringing you another video, and in today's video we're going to be doing a bit of a retrospective of the awesomeness that is the Xbox 360. Recently Microsoft announced that the system would no longer be manufactured and sold brand new, basically. So if you want to get the system and your local stores don't have them new in stock, you may have to go to buy it used at GameStop or online or whatever. All right, so kind of a sad news. I mean, there's not a lot of games coming out for the system as of right now, but still, the system has such an amazing library of awesome games that it's kind of sad to see it go. So, what I thought I'd do today is just talk about a few things about the Xbox 360. We're gonna do sort of a good, bad, and the ugly type thing. We're gonna take a look at some accessories, and of course some games, and we'll take it from there. So, first things first, let's talk a little bit about the original Xbox 360. So, as all of you should know, the original Xbox 360 was sort of a white model Xbox system. It didn't have any built-in Wi-Fi, didn't have a built-in HDMI port. It was sort of a bare bones system. I think it came with a 20 gigabyte hard drive if you got a certain edition of it. The other edition didn't come with any hard drive, which was terrible, but um, so it had a few launch games, nothing really spectacular. And the big thing about that system was, of course, the notorious Red Ring of Death. Now, let me tell you a little story about my experience with the Red Ring of Death. So I bought the system, paid about I think it was $400. I bought it off of my uncle. He gave me a decent deal. He gave me some games with it, whatever. So I had the system, played it on my standard def TV, which was my mind was still blown by the graphics and everything back in those days. But I really enjoyed it. I had Tomb Raider on there. I had I think some racing games and stuff. It was really good. Now I also played some of my original Xbox games on there as well, because I did own the original Xbox. Like I had Halo 2 and some other games. So I think it was a few days before Blue Dragon was supposed to be released. So I'm a big RPG fan, which you'll see in a little bit with all the games I have here. I'm a big RPG fan, so when Blue Dragon was announced, I was stoked. I was ready for that game. Reserved the game. A couple days before it came out, I was, playing my Xbox 360 as usual. I put in Halo 2, and lo and behold, I saw red blinking lights, three red blinking lights in front of my Xbox 360. I had no idea about the Red Ring of Death thing and all that. So I was just like, what is going on? Why isn't the game turning on? I tried everything with the system, nothing would work. And finally, I decided to go online, do a little research, and see if anybody else is having this problem. Lo and behold, everybody was having this problem, pretty much. It was a system failure issue, and basically, I believe it had to do with overheating or something. And I found out also that Microsoft was offering um, to repair the systems for free. And they also gave you like a month of Xbox Live for free, which is nothing really. But anyways, uh, so I went ahead and called Microsoft. They sent me a box, sent my system in, and had to wait for it to be returned. I can't remember how long it took. I know it took a little while though, because I remember having to pick up my copy of Blue Dragon and basically having to stare at the box for a few days without, my system. So it was a very sad time for me. So after I got my system back though, it was in good working condition and it worked for many years after, which was good. But yeah, I did finally get to enjoy Blue Dragon, and it was worth it. Blue Dragon was an awesome game to me. I love that game. Um, so that was the original Xbox. Then they released, I believe they released an Elite model. Came with like 120 gig hard drive or something like that. It came, or 250. It was black system, really nice. Still no built-in Wi-Fi or nothing like that. They had Wi-Fi adapters and whatnot. Um, I believe it had HDMI port though, finally, and stuff like that. So Moving on from there, we had the Xbox 360 Slim, which was kind of a strange angular modeled system. It was nice though. You know, I did own that as well. I've owned every single model, but as when I get a new one, I sell off the old ones. But I did own that one. It was good. And then finally, the last model that was released was this one right here. This is the E model Xbox 360. Okay, as you can see, it's fashioned after the Xbox One. All right, it's a nice system. Uh, I've had this for I think a little over a year, something like that. Uh, and I haven't had any issues at all with it. It's a great system. It comes with the black controller. Nothing new or different about this. It's a regular Xbox 360 controller like they've been for years. The thing about the 360 controllers is that they do not come with rechargeable batteries like, say, the PS3 controller or PS4 or whatever. Even the Xbox One still doesn't. But, you know, these are some of the best controllers out there. I use this for not only my 360, but also when I game on my PC. So this is my Xbox 360 controllers, specifically for the 360. And this one is my PC Xbox 360 controller. So I have a rechargeable battery for this one, which you can buy. This is an off-brand battery. Comes with a cord to charge it. This one has slightly different analogs, as you can see. Like the original has the little bumps on it. This one has sort of a circular design. Not sure which one I prefer, but you know, they both work good. But the biggest difference is the D-pad. So the Xbox 360 controller has a notoriously bad D-pad, as you can see. It's just a weird, like, flat circular thing. But this one kind of fixes that issue. So this one's pretty cool because it's transformable. So you can actually just go like that and it pops out the D-pad, which is really nice, and it makes it a lot more user-friendly for games that, you know, like fighters or side-scrolling games that work better with the D-pad. So that's that. This is a great controller. I love this. I've had this for years and I love it. Okay, so now the biggest thing with the Xbox 360, and I believe its claim to fame, is aside from the awesome controller, is the games. It had such an amazing, versatile library of video games. It really solidified the first-person shooter franchises, which are extremely popular today. Games like Modern Warfare 1, which was my first Call of Duty, blew my mind. I mean, you know, I was already into first-person shooters since Halo. Halo was the first one that really got me into FPSs. But, you know, when I saw that game on 360, it was just amazing. Fluid, 60 frames per second. Really nice graphics at the time. It was just a great game, great story and everything. Uh, and since then, the 360 has pumped out not only awesome shooters, but we have some amazing RPGs, some great racing games, fighting games. I mean, everything you could want. It has a very extensive indie library. The Xbox Live Arcade was far and ahead of the PlayStation Network, and the Wii Network, if you can call it that. It had an amazing array of games, lots of demo. Every single indie has a demo, which is perfect because, you know, I generally don't like to risk certain indies because I've been, you know, I bought games that turned out to be bad. And they're digital, so you can't return them or anything. So I like the fact that every single indie is required to have a demo. Aside from that, the Xbox Live online play was amazing, second to none at the time. But the downside was that you had to pay, and that was something that I was very not too happy about. It was one of the reasons why I ended up switching to the PlayStation 3 because I was spending so much with this dumb online cost. But of course, the irony is that now even PlayStation is doing it. But at least we're getting free games and discounts and stuff, so it has evolved. But still, it's not gone yet, which is kind of sad. But anyways, Moving on from there, I think we should go ahead and take a look at the games now, because that's really the bread and butter of any game system. All right. So I have a nice little stack here. Like I said, this is not all my games. These are just my box copy games. I have some without boxes. I have some original Xbox games as well that work on a 360, and I also have plenty of digital games as well. Thanks to the free Xbox Live games when you subscribe for Xbox Live, I got quite a few from that, and also some that I've bought and things like that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start right at the top here of my stack, and we're going to do 3 games here at one time. Why? Because we can. All right, so we have the Mass Effect series. We have Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. All right, so the Mass Effect series. What can I say about the Mass Effect series? I can say one thing about it. It's amazing. It is the best game series, in my opinion, of that generation. I absolutely loved it. Some people were kind of, iffy about it. They were like, it's not that great. The shooter mechanics are not that great. Whatever. Totally disagree with that. It is one of the best game series of that time, of all time to me. The story is amazing. It rivals even, dare I say, stories like Star Wars, for example. Um, the gameplay, yeah, it wasn't Halo, okay, especially the first one. It was, or Gears of War, which it was highly compared to at the time. This game, it's an RPG, so your ability to aim and all that kind of stuff was based on numbers. It's an RPG. You level up, you can aim better and use better abilities and whatnot. So that was the first one. The first one really introduced the world of the universe of Mass Effect, and brought the character John Shepard to us. It gave him his backstory and everything. Great game. I would highly recommend this to anybody buying an Xbox 360. It's on other systems as well. You can get it on PS3, PC. I have owned it on every system except for the PS3. I haven't bought the PS3 version of Mass Effect 1. Um, but it's an amazing game. And then after this one had, like I said, the shooting was not as simplistic and straightforward as Call of Duty, Halo, stuff like that. But Mass Effect 2 kind of fixed that. It made the shooting mechanics a lot easier to pick up and play. Mass Effect 2 it was a great game. It was mostly focused on character stories. Um, he had a very interesting, versatile cast in this game. Some really cool weapons. The thing was, it wasn't a great variety of weapons. There wasn't a lot you can do with them. But it was an evolution in the gameplay of the series. The story was not the best in this one. It was good. There was some pretty big revelations in this game. It was definitely worth picking up, playing through. I played through this probably like 10 times. This is the one that I played through the most. Just because with the Mass Effect series, the big thing is that you have choices in the game, and your choices, matter to a certain extent. So you get different endings and stuff like that. So this was a great one. And then finally, we ended with Mass Effect 3, at least for now. I know Andromeda's on the way. But this was the last one for that generation. This brought everything together. It brought the awesome customizable RPG elements. Amazing gameplay was brought back, and a huge variety of weapons, all customizable. This brought everything together. There was a lot of drama about the ending, but my opinion on the ending was that it was not just those last couple minutes after everything is said and done. I'm not going to say the ending, I don't want to spoil it. But it wasn't that. I feel like the entire last mission, the entire time that you're on Earth, was the ending of the game. It was all culminated into whatever happened at the end. But, of course, to appease their fans, BioWare released a free update for the game that quote-unquote fixed the ending, added a sort of a comic book story at the end to tell you what happened to all the characters and everything, which was great. I mean, it just added to the awesomeness to this game, if you ask me. But this is, in my opinion, the best in the series. Amazing, amazing game. And the best part is, you can get all three of these games for about $5 each at GameStop. So, my question to you is, why haven't you bought them already? Thank you. All right, we're gonna put that aside for now. Moving on. So here's another RPG. I tell you guys I'm really into RPGs. So this one's called Magna Carta 2. This one was it was good. It's a Korean style JRPG, so it has a very unique art style to the game, which I like. It's a sequel to a PlayStation 2 game called, of course, Magna Carta, and which I never played. I never played that game because I heard that it wasn't like super great, and like the gameplay was super complex or something. But I decided to pick this up on a 360, and I was pleasantly surprised. This is a really good game. The gameplay is interesting. It has sort of a uh, like you can't. It's an action RPG, right? But you can't just hack and slash at enemies. Like you have a meter that goes up and down. When you do a couple of hits, you have to wait till your meter refills and that kind of thing. But it's a really good game. I do recommend it if you can find it. It's becoming a little hard to find. But I got it for a few dollars at GameStop, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't beaten it yet. I've gotten to the end of it, but I just haven't gotten around to beating it yet. But I'm definitely gonna do that someday. Here we go. Peter Molyneux's baby right here, Fable 2. Um, So Fable 2, obviously the sequel to Fable on the original Xbox. Fable 1 was touted to be one of the best games of all time, according to its creator. Um, didn't quite pan out that way, but it was a good game. I really did enjoy it. I put a lot of time into it. And then I bought Fable 2, which really brought the open world of this RPG to the Xbox 360, and it was awesome. This had really interesting online connectivity and everything. Like you can see other players walking around the world through these little spheres in the world. It's kind of weird, but it was just nice to see it. This was a really good game. I beat the entire game. Really enjoyed it. Picked it up again for $3, which is nothing. I mean, I highly recommend you guys to pick this game up. Next, we have kind of a hidden gem. I know more people are picking this up these days because of the sequel that was recently announced. That's coming out on PS4, and this game is Nier. It's a really unique RPG published by Square Enix. This game, what can I say about it? It's mind blowing. I mean, that's all I can say. That's the best way to describe it. The story in the game is incredible. It's worth playing through. The gameplay is good. You know, it's not going to blow your mind or anything. It's really fairly basic. But the variety of the gameplay. I mean, this game goes from an action game to a top-down shooter to a text adventure. I mean, it goes from a 3D game to a 2D game. I mean, the different areas in this game just like throw you for a loop all the time, and it's really amazing. It's a big open world. Some people compare it to like Zelda style mixed with maybe God of War or something like that. It's a really good game. But what you want to get this game for is the story. The story is bar none the best thing about this game. It's so incredible. And what's cool is that after you beat the game, you have sort of a new game plus where you don't have to start all the way from the beginning of the game. You start at the climax of the game, which is about the middle of the game, and you can play again, look and view the story from a different angle. So you view the story from the angle of the bad guys, and it really just flips the story on its head, and you don't know who's bad or good in this game by the end of it. I mean, it's just incredible. So I highly recommend this game. It's about $10 now on a 360. But if you can find it, get it, play through it, you will not be disappointed. Next we have Rare's Cameo game, published by Microsoft. So this game you can play on the Xbox One now, which is nice, and it's also on the Rare Replay. So this is I guess it's like a platformer action adventure type game. It's really good, extremely colorful. I never beat this, to be honest with you. Picked it up for a couple dollars just to have it in my collection. But at the time, the graphics were mind blowing. I remember the first area where it's like filled with grass, and you're like in this little town with a bunch of fairies and creatures all over the place. So beautiful, so awesome. The gameplay was really interesting. You can transform into these monster things, and as cameo, you can transform into them and battle and stuff like that, solve puzzles and whatnot. Really cool game. Highly recommend trying it out. If you got an Xbox One, get it on the Rare Replay, and try it out there. Next, we have Lost Odyssey. What can I say about Lost Odyssey? This game was, again, unbelievable. It was made by the same people who made Blue Dragon, that game that I was, forced to wait to play. But anyways, this was sort of a spiritual successor to the series. This game was amazing. Beautiful graphics, awesome gameplay. This is what I guess you can say what Final Fantasy X should have been, I'm sorry, 13 should have been. This game is classic RPG, right? So you run through the world, get into turn-based battles, level up. Amazing story-based game, good voice acting, great characters. I mean, your main character right here, Kine, I believe his name was. He's such a interesting, deep character. Like, he's not, a teenage boy out there to save the world. You know what I mean? This guy is serious. He's immortal, which is really interesting part of the story. I won't spoil anything, but him and a couple of other immortal characters are basically trying to figure out, who are they? Why can't they die? What's their backstory? And you see all of this through interesting, like, half-hour long story sequences where you're sitting there and literally like reading a book for half an hour. All right, they're optional. You don't have to read them, but I highly recommend that you do because the stories in there are amazing. It's very atmospheric. Even while you're reading those stories, you have a nice music to listen to while you're reading it, and it's just a very unique and amazing experience. I highly recommend, if you're into turn-based RPGs, Lost Odyssey on the 360 is a must. Please, Microsoft, make this playable on the Xbox One, and I will get one. All right. Next, we have another Square Enix published game called Project Sylphid. So this is a space shooter. I'm a big fan of space shooters. On the PS2, I was a big fan of the Star Wars space shooters. I love them all. So naturally, when I saw this and the beautiful graphics and gameplay, and it was published by Square Enix, I had to have it. I knew I had to have it. So I picked it up, and I gotta say it was good, but it was too hard for me. I at the time it was too difficult for me when I picked it up. Couldn't really get into it. But I still own it because I want to try it again one day. When I have the desire to play through it and really just try to get through the game. I'd like to give it another shot. It's a really interesting game. Really cool ships in the game. And the gameplay is it's fairly tight. It's a little you got to get used to the controls and everything, but it's a pretty good game. So definitely give it a shot. $3. Come on, you can't go wrong. All right, here's a big one. Gears of War 3. Now, I do have Gears of War 1 on my Xbox 360 digital because I got it for free. And the Gears of War series it's the system seller. This is the big game on the on the system aside from Halo. Gears of War is an amazing series. I mean, if you own an Xbox and have not played Gears of War, I don't even know why you bought an Xbox. All right, so this is the game that you want to get. Gears of War 3 was probably gameplay-wise and online gameplay and everything. This is probably the pinnacle of the series. I did play Judgment, and it was a great game, absolutely. But the story just didn't grip me as Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. So this is an awesome, not only online shooter game, third-person shooter, but it's also an amazing co-op game. So I've played this game split screen from beginning to end, and it was awesome. Awesome experience. beautiful graphics, great gameplay, interesting story. The story kind of gets a little weird after part one, but you know, it's still pretty interesting. Definitely, if you have 360, you have to have this game. I mean, that's it. And I believe all these are playable on Xbox One, which is awesome. Um, so definitely pick this up. Great co-op experience and online gaming experience. Next we have this game called Fuse. So I got this on sale. It was like buy four for $20 or something. So this was one of them. I bought this game to give it a shot. It's a like a squad-based shooter where all your characters have specific classes and roles. It's made by Insomniac, the people who made Ratchet and Clank. So Ratchet and Clank is one of my favorite series of all time. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I gotta try this out for a few dollars. Why not, right? And I gotta say, it's okay. It's not great. It's not too bad. It's a decent shooter. If you can get it for a couple dollars, I'd say yes, pick it up. It's fun, co-op, split screen, four-player game, which is really nice. The story is okay, I guess. The graphics are really nice. Definitely worth a shot. So if you can get this for a couple dollars, give it a shot. Dragon's Dogma. So, for those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, you know the first video I put on my channel, which has I think over 2,000 views now, is modding of Dragon's Dogma on PC. This is the original. This is where we started with. So this is Dragon's Dogma. This isn't the Dark Arisen. This is the original release. This is a really awesome, unique action RPG, open world, reminiscent of Skyrim type games, you know, stuff like that. But the unique thing about it is that there's a pawn system, so you can recruit other players' pawns into your game, which is really interesting. And the gameplay is reminiscent of, say, you know, Devil May Cry. You know, I mean, that's what people have compared it to, and I'd say it's a fair comparison because the gameplay is just so tight and amazing. I mean, the gameplay, quite frankly, blows Elder Scrolls games out of the water. I mean, straight up. You can't jump on a dragon, grab its head, and slash at its eyes in Elder Scrolls, but you can do it in this game. So, absolutely recommend it. Well, I'm not going to say I recommend getting it on the 360. If you have the option, get this on PC. The 360 version is just not worth playing anymore after the PC version came out because the graphics in this and you know, the slowdown and everything are completely fixed in the PC version. So, if you have that option, get it. If not, get the 360 version. I recommend the Dark Arisen though. This original one it's just missing a lot of the new content, like being able to fast travel and stuff like that at any time you want. That you get in Dark Arisen. So I would highly recommend getting Dark Arisen over this one. Next we have another action RPG, Infinite Undiscovery. Infinite Undiscovery is how can I say? I'd say it's sort of a underappreciated game. It's a really interesting game published by Square Enix. As you can see, I'm a big fan of Square Enix. You run around. You have a group of followers in this action RPG. You can have from 2 to 3 followers up to like 8, 10 followers. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's like these big battles in this game where you're just like going all out with a huge like army almost, you know, fighting off bad guys. It's an amazing experience. Big open world, really nice graphics, interesting story. Definitely would recommend everybody try this game. I was able to beat the entire game and I was not disappointed. It was an awesome experience. It gets a little tough in certain areas, which is okay though. You know, it's always good to have a little challenge in an RPG. But the gameplay is tight, really fun, interesting, unique areas, and nice characters as well. So highly recommend Infinite Undiscovery. Next we have Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is a Rockstar game, the people who made Grand Theft Auto. It's my favorite Rockstar game, hands down. I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan. I mean, I'll just say that. I really am not. This game, though, I am a big fan of. The graphics, the story, the main character, I mean, it's just perfect. This game is amazing. I love the setting, the Wild West, you know. This is one of the most highly requested games on Xbox backwards compatibility on the Microsoft website, and for good reason. It's an amazing game. The online in this game was mind blowing. So much fun. They had like a team deathmatch. You had like you can form like posses and go out and do missions and stuff. Awesome, awesome game. If you haven't already played this, pick it up. If you have an Xbox One, just keep your fingers crossed because I'm sure this will be coming out soon enough. Alright, so the next game that we have is 99 Nights, or N3. Alright, so 99 Nights, what could I say about this one? So this game is an action RPG, very similar to Dynasty Warriors series. So it's just, you know, straight up run around and hack and slash the, you know, the living daylights out of all your enemies. Um, it's just kind of mindless fun. But the cool thing about this game is that it has some strategic elements. So you have armies that you can actually control, which is pretty nice. It doesn't really make a huge difference or anything, but it's just cool to be able to do that. It has an interesting cast of characters as well. Nowhere near as many as Dynasty Warriors, but still not too bad. Um, the big claim to fame here was the ability to have like so many hundreds or thousands of troops on screen at once, which was pretty amazing at the time. But you know, still, I wouldn't say that this is a must-have. It's a decent game though. You can find it for a couple dollars. The big thing that I wasn't too crazy about with this game is the fact that once you die in a mid battle, you basically got to start all over again. There's no mid battle saves like they have in Dynasty Warriors, which is horrible. I've had many instances where I'll, you know, almost beating a level like 40 minutes, an hour in, and then I just get killed by a random enemy. I got to do it all over again. So pretty horrible. But yeah, find it for a couple dollars. Give it a shot. All right. Look what we have here, The Last Remnant. Okay, so The Last Remnant. This was Square Enix's big foray into the next gen. Everybody was pretty excited about this, including me. Did it live up to the hype? It did not, unfortunately. The fact that you can have so many soldiers on your team and customize your teams as you want, which was pretty cool. The graphics were not great. The load times were not great. There was slowdown. I mean, you know, it was just a pretty mediocre experience. Now, this game also released on PC, and the PC version basically fixes all those graphical issues, which is nice. But this version is still not too bad. I would highly recommend, if you want to give this game a shot on the 360, install it onto your hard drive. That helps with the load times and stuff like that. Is it a great game? Not really. It's an okay RPG. I never beat it. It gets really tough. The mid boss battle right at the end of the first disc. This is a multiple disc game. The battle at the end of the first disc, I just could not beat him. No matter what I tried, I could not get past that guy, and it frustrated the heck out of me. Um, so you know that made me stop playing. But I still have it. You know, maybe one day I'll give it another shot. But it just the difficulty spike with that mid boss, and I heard the same thing with the end boss. It's just ridiculous. So just be forewarned if you're planning on getting this game. Next, we have the Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on the Dark Athena. This is an awesome, awesome game. It's very unique. It's not a run and gun. Absolutely not. This is I guess you could liken it more to like Splinter Cell type of game where you're kind of sneaking around. You don't have a lot of weapons and guns and rocket launchers and stuff. If those are the only types of games you like, this may not be for you. But the atmosphere in this game, the characters, the story is amazing. Vin Diesel does the voice of Riddick. Of course, he's fashioned. Riddick is fashioned after Vin Diesel. And he does an incredible job. I mean, he makes Riddick look so like gritty and like, you know, really tough guy, you know? It's an awesome game, and the cool thing is that you're getting 2 games here for just a few dollars. I paid $5 for this. You get the Assault on Dark Athena along with the original Chronicles of Riddick game on from the original Xbox, all done up in HD, which is awesome. I mean, the game looks amazing. This did also release on PS3, but the PS3 version suffers from graphical issues, lower resolution, and stuff like that. I actually beat this on the PS3 first, but I bought it again on the 360. This is the best version that you can get. It's also on PC, but they no longer have it on Steam, so at least as far as I can find it, I couldn't find it on Steam. So the best way to get this is going to be through the 360. They may have it on other websites like goodoldgames.com, but I'm not too sure about that. But this is a great game for a few dollars. Definitely worth it. Next, we have Too Human. Now, I'll be honest, I did not get into this game. I have some friends and family who really love this game. They, say that it's amazing and everything, and I can see where they come from. And it looks great. I mean, it has interesting character classes. It's sort of a dungeon crawler style RPG. But I just couldn't get into it because of the controls. The controls are a little weird. It's not very similar to other action RPGs I've played. So because of that, I just can't get into it. But I still got it. Maybe one day I'll give it another shot, but I kind of doubt it. Okay, so next we have we're gonna jump into some Call of Duty now. So I have just one Call of Duty game on a 360, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Gold Edition. Uh, Got this for like it was like 10-15 bucks. I waited on this one. I kind of wore thin on the Call of Duty series a while back, so I haven't really been picking them up annually. I think the last one I picked up was Modern Warfare 3, I think. So it's been a while. I've played the other ones. I just haven't, really like got too into them. So I picked this one up when it was cheap, and I actually enjoy it. I think it's really good. I mean, I know that it didn't do too well with reviews, and the Call of Duty community wasn't too into it. There's really not that many people playing it online, which kind of sucks. But I gotta say, I thought it was fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm going through the campaign right now. Um, and it kind of like begs the question, if they were able to do a campaign of the quality that they did in this game for the Xbox 360 and PS3, why were they not able to do that with Black Ops 3? And Black Ops 3 on the 360 and PS3 only have multiplayer for $50. So, I wonder why. It sounds like somebody was ported that game last minute to me. But anyways, good game. If you can find it for a few dollars, I'd say why the heck not? Pick it up, and hopefully you can get some other people to pick it up too, so I can have more people to play with online. So it's a fun game. I definitely recommend it for Call of Duty fans and shooter fans alike. Next, we have Unreal Tournament 3. Unreal Tournament 3. Now, this game, I mostly played it on the PS3. And the reason for that is because PS3 actually has mod support. You can download and install mods on the PS3 version. But, you can pick it up on either system, and it's a great experience. Unreal Tournament is ridiculously fun. So cool. Crazy robots, crazy weapons, really fast-paced action game. Really, really awesome first-person shooter. This version on the 360 came with the exclusive Gears of War 2 video content on the disc. So I'm sure that was a temptation for people who picked this up originally on the 360. But the game itself, I mean, you don't need any other incentive to pick this game up. It's amazing. It's so much fun. Any system you pick it up on, like I said, is on PS3. They got mod support, but the 360 version is perfectly fine on its own. Really, really great game. Don't think anybody's playing it online anymore, but the playing against bots and the single player co-op and stuff like that is still worth picking it up for. And for $5, you can't go wrong. All right, next we have side-scrolling shooter game. This was shown off at the infamous Konami press conference a couple of E3s ago. This game is a spiritual successor of the Gradius series, so it's a bullet hell shooter called Odomedius Excellent. It's very, as you can tell by the cover, very anime inspired, really over the top, all female cast, really silly game. It kind of, when I play it, it kind of reminds me of like a Dreamcast game. You know, the way the character designs and the music and everything. I don't know. I just get that vibe from it. Um, but it's a great game. I'd say if you could pick it up for a couple dollars. I found it at a retro store for $7.99. So I was like, what the heck? I'll try it, and it was worth it. It's a good game, really fun shooter, very colorful. All right. Now, last but not least, we're going to take a look at the Halo series, at least the ones that I own for the 360 right now. We're going to start off at the top, so I'm just going by timeline here. So Halo Wars is where we begin. So Halo Wars is not a first-person shooter, which threw some people off. It's an RTS. It's a real-time strategy game. So you build bases, you build army, soldiers. Now, these types of games are generally for PC, okay? This is not a controller game, all right? But this one kind of breaks that mold. I've played other RTSs on 360 with the 360 controller, like Command and Conquer, Universe at War, and stuff like that. This is far and above all those games. It just controls better. It's more of a simplistic RTS compared to what like StarCraft or other games. But the gameplay is still extremely fun. It's fast paced, at least more so than most RTSs. The story is really good. The graphics are pretty good as well. And it's just a great RTS experience. This is probably my favorite console real-time strategy game. And good news is that Halo Wars 2 was recently announced, I believe last year at E3, 2015. And I am so stoked for that. And the cool thing is that it's coming out on PC and Xbox One, which is really awesome. So I can play it with keyboard and mouse, which is really the best way to play real-time strategy games. But even if you can't, I'm more than sure that it's going to be a great experience on controller, because this one was. I put many hours into this. I beat the campaign many times. I've played online, co-op, and competitive and everything. It's just a really great game. So highly recommend Halo Wars, and it works on the Xbox One, which is awesome. Next, we have the original, the classic, remade Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. This was the game on the original Xbox that brought me into the world of first-person shooters. It blew my mind. It was a huge open world, the fun, fast-paced gameplay. The graphics at the time were mind-blowing. I mean, it was the full package. The co-op experience was second to none. It was so fun. I played this game, beat it many times on the original Xbox. I played online with my friends and my cousins and stuff, and we just had so much fun. Um, so this is the HD remake of the game. They really went back, redid all the textures, redid all the character models, did an amazing job. The cool thing about this game is that you can switch back and forth between the new graphics and the original graphics to see the difference. And oh my gosh, it is ridiculous. You can see how much improved this game is compared to what it used to be. I mean, they did an amazing job with this. Now you can get this on the Halo Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One with, of course, higher resolution graphics and stuff. So obviously get it on there if you can. If not, this is a great alternative. It looks amazing on the 360. Next, we have Halo 3 ODST. Alright, so I also own Halo 3, but I have the digital version because it was free on Xbox Live. So that's the version I have. This is sort of a offshoot of the system. I think of it as almost like an expansion, I guess you could say. So this game is really unique to the series in that you're not playing as Master Chief here. You're not playing as a Spartan at all. You're playing as an ODST, Orbital Drop Stormtrooper, I think they're called, Shock Trooper. And you know, so you're basically a regular human, you know. So you don't have rechargeable life and stuff like that, like you do as Master Chief. You're a little more vulnerable. But you know, it tells a really unique story. I really like the way they set this up. Like, you're stranded in a city that's being taken over by the Covenant, and this all happens after the events in Halo 2 when the dropship goes into warp. In Halo 2, it's early on in the game when Master Chief is there in the city. And it's basically the aftermath of that, and that's what you're experiencing in this game. And it's just an incredible experience. It's really fun. Definitely highly recommend this. It's really cheap too, like $5. Definitely pick it up. This game is also on the Master Chief Collection as well, so you know you could definitely get it there. Better graphics, whatever. The online game is great. It has the complete right here, the complete Halo 3 multiplayer experience, which is nice. There's actually still people playing this online, which is pretty cool. So definitely give it a shot. And finally, we have Halo 4. So this was the last main series Halo game that came out on the 360. This game was great. The graphics in this game blew my mind. I couldn't believe that the 360 was able to do graphics like this. I mean, they did an amazing job. Wasn't the best story, I'll admit. The gameplay was great, though. The multiplayer kind of paved the way for what we would see in Halo 5 and other Halo games. Um, and it's really fun. It's a great game. Beautiful, like I said, beautiful graphics, great co-op gameplay. Definitely would highly recommend this game. And this one was like, I got it for $5 at Goodwill, but I think it's about that price at GameStop too. But definitely highly recommend this. It's the Halo Swan song, I guess you could say, on the 360. Definitely worth giving a shot. All right. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I have some other digital games. I have Halo Reach and a couple of other games on the 360 digital. And you know, they're all awesome. The 360 is a great system. I'm really sad that they're not going to be doing anything else with it, but you know, times change. We got to move on. We did it with the Xbox to the 360 and so on and so forth. So we're going to do it with the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One and the Xbox One to the, I don't know, Xbox 1.5 or whatever the heck they're going to come up with. I guess we'll find out at E3. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this little journey through time where I got to talk about my enjoyment of the 360 and the awesome games and everything. It's a great system, guys. Pick it up before it's all gone. I highly recommend this model. Don't go for the old ones. The old ones are just not worth it anymore. This completely blows all those out of the water. Pick it up for like $100 or so. Maybe you can get it even cheaper at a pawn shop. And you will not regret it. So thank you all again for joining me today. This is Talk F signing off. If you enjoyed this video, please drop it a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Okay, so the next game that we have here is 99 Nights 3. So, what can I say about 99 Nights 3? Why am I calling it... Wait. So it came with the black controller. Just your, you know, basic black Xbox 360 controller. Nothing special there. And another thing about the controllers themselves, unfortunately, they don't come with... Whoops. Oh, God. Sorry about that.